What's the best investment that you've ever made? The most expensive purchase I've made to this point in my life is my current car. The week that I bought this car, I took it through an automatic car wash where the monster truck just ahead of me got its giant oversized tires stuck inside the moving track. I sat there, trapped inside my car between two giant rotating brushes while I was hit roughly 30 times by the car behind me. Honestly, I've gotten better returns on investment from my dental floss. But one of the most extraordinary human abilities is our ability to project the future and then plan for it. Animals do this in a limited way when they feel the air turning and stock up on acorns, or start flying south for the winter. But we are the only species that stocks up on comic books and Pokemon cards, on the chance they might make us rich in 50 years. We're the only species building underground shelters just in case of solar flares. We're the only species that says please and thank you to chatbots, just to be sure we're on the good side of our future overlords. Of course, we also all know people who are bad at projecting the future. There's that friend who ignored a few dozen red flags because she was just so beautiful. There are the tourists who get airlifted off mountains in Phoenix because they hiked at 115 degrees with no water bottle. At the start of Luke, Jesus' mother Mary had predicted that the future would look different than most of the world was expecting. When Jesus starts teaching, he picks up his mother's point and takes it even further. He gives a description of the future that reframes what we see in the present. It's a fair bet if someone has money or power now, they'll probably have more of it later. That's how compounding interest and nepotism work. Poverty and injustice also have compounding effects. But Jesus says the future won't just be an extension of the past. For one, our story is going to go on way longer than we've often calculated. And because a just God is involved in history, the outcome will look different than present trends can project. To all the children with shrunken bellies, to the women hiding bruises, to the men whose shoulders are crushed under the burden of other people's greed, to people everywhere caught in the crossfire of armies. Jesus says this: "You aren't forgotten. God hears your cries and feels your pain. You'll laugh again, and you'll lie down at night full to sleep in peace." God says, "I'll be your defender where everyone else has failed. Hang on, I'm coming for you. It won't always be this way." To those whose jobs are lost for speaking truth, whose reputations are damaged for doing what's right, to those who suffer or sacrifice so that other people have fewer reasons to cry, Jesus says this: "Every sacrifice you make for the people and things God cares about is an investment that will have a return. Remember this when you feel tired or discouraged, when people call you naive or mock the things you stand for. Everyone in the end will recognize you as part of the courageous company of prophets who saw and witnessed a reality as it really is." Jesus then turns and issues a warning to those who live in extravagant excess, who've never met their neighbors left shut outside the fences, whose success in life is measured by clicks and likes and numbers, whose only cause for crying is losing a big bet. Jesus says this: "Don't take this ease and abundance as a sign of God's blessing. Sooner or later, the reckoning will come. Those who made their lives only about themselves, who built their abundance atop others' sufferings, will taste what it is to go bankrupt, with no one in power to call." These are strong words. What Jesus is really doing here is asking each person to look at their life in a longer arc. Every human being makes choices in light of the future they're expecting. But most people, according to Jesus, don't take a long enough view. The point here isn't to type other people into economic boxes that makes them easier to judge and dismiss. The point is for each of us to take a good hard look at our own lives. Are we crushed under heavy burdens that we're powerless to move? Jesus offers hope. God will come and lift them. Are we taking risks and making sacrifices for things that are lasting and true? Jesus offers courage. God will ensure a return on everything we invest. Are we living a life that's mostly about us, chasing what pleasures and praises we think we can win? Jesus offers a warning and a chance to adjust our approach while there's still time to change the outcome. We're presently on a course that will end in empty loss. But it's not too late to change investments. If we use our strength to lift the weak and spend our capital on mercy, God will ensure that those investments will mature beyond our wildest dreams. Jesus is telling us frankly where all of this is going as one in a position to know. We are each invited to invest accordingly, with our eyes wide open. This story is longer than you think it is. Happy are those who choose wisely. Let's read Luke 6, verses 20 to 26. Jesus raised his eyes to his disciples and said, "Happy are you who are poor, because God's kingdom is yours. Happy are you who hunger now, because you will be satisfied. Happy are you who weep now, because you will laugh. Happy are you when people hate you, reject you, insult you, and condemn your name as evil because of the Son of Man. Rejoice when that happens. Leap for joy because you have a great reward in heaven. Their ancestors did the same things to the prophets. But how terrible for you who are rich, because you have already received your comfort. How terrible for you who have plenty now, because you will be hungry. How terrible for you who laugh now, because you will mourn and weep. How terrible for you when all speak well of you. Their ancestors did the same things to the false prophets." I'm Meghan Good, and this has been Reading Jesus. If you'd like to join me in conversation, you can go to patreon.com/Jesus Collective Community and look for the Luke 6 post. Thanks for joining me for a few minutes in Luke, and I'll see you next time.